Elk jaar wordt Pravasi Bharatiya Divas gevierd op 9 januari ter ere van de bijdrage van meer dan 34 miljoen sterke Indiase diaspora die India trots hebben gemaakt over de hele wereld als de echte vertegenwoordigers van de Indiase cultuur en waarden. De dag van 9 januari is gekozen als Pravasi Bharatiya Divas ter herdenking van de terugkeer van Mahatma Gandhi uit Zuid-Afrika na zijn succesvolle en historische strijd tegen apartheid en radicale discriminatie. De Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2020 en Vishwa Hindi Divas is op 9 januari gevierd in Paramaribo op de ambassade van India. Dit jaar heeft de minister van Buitenlandse Zaken van India de diaspora wereldwijd live toegesproken via videocall en de vragen van diaspora uit 8 landen, waaronder Suriname, beantwoord.
Thank you very much. Our heartiest felicitations and warm greetings from Suriname to Honorable External Affairs Minister, Minister of State for External Affairs, Secretaries, and all those who are part of this special event. We are honored that Suriname was chosen one of the 8 countries for live interaction with the Honorable Minister. The vibrant Hindustani community makes one feel that Suriname is a mini India away from India. It consists of 27% of Suriname's multicultural population of about 591,000. It acts as an important bridge in building the people-to-people ties and strengthening bilateral relations between India and Suriname, which are close and friendly. Indian music, dance, song, movies, TV serials remain integral to Indian diaspora in Suriname. There are a score of PIO radio and TV channels. Suriname has a distinctive place among Hindi-speaking foreign countries. The way Indian diaspora in Suriname has preserved their heritage and traditions by holding on to their roots, folklore, cultural, linguistic, and religious practices and remain connected with India in hearts and minds is truly laudable. Their commitment to Bharatiyata has done India proud. I would now like to introduce the chief guest today, the Vice President of the Republic of Suriname, His Excellency Shri Ashwin, along with ministers, Ms. Lanini Gopal and Mr. Surjan, honorable members of Parliament on my right, and members, community members from all walks of life of Suriname. I would request the Honorable Vice President to greet the Honorable Minister on behalf of diaspora.
Thank you. On behalf of the Republic of Suriname, the government and its people, I wish you well on your birthday today, Honorable Minister, or both ministers today.
Thank you.
And of course, we commend you on the 4 points that you mentioned. It says a lot of your endeavors for now and the future. Of course, Suriname has been strengthening its bond with India through the ITEC program, No India program, of course the ICCR for many decades, and the bilateral meetings that we have been doing intensely. And of course the visit of your President Ramnath Kovindji to Suriname has been a historical feat. So we commend you, and we hope that we have 2 questions, of course. Suriname and its people, as children from Bharatvarsh, have been integrating and have integrated in Suriname in all walks of life, be it private sector, the public sector, and civil society. And of course, we have to hear their questions as well. Thank you again.
Thank you, Excellency. Now the first question is from Mr. Maurice Hassan Khan, the noted academician and historian and former Home Minister, who had also attended the PVT conference held in New Delhi in 2016 on documenting history of migration and achievement of diaspora in Grimitiya countries.
Thank you very much, Excellency. From my part also, congratulations. Aapke Salgirah Mubarak ho. And I would like to congratulate the Indian government with this initiative of interaction with the Indian diaspora across the globe. Really, that is a very, very laudable initiative. And I hope this will be continued in the future. So my question as a scholar is regarding academic collaboration. And at different conferences, diaspora scholars have talked about the idea about establishing branches by Indian universities in diaspora countries. And when I talk about diaspora countries, then especially I mean in so-called Girmitia countries, where people went long ago, 150 years ago or longer, and they staying there. So in the Girmitia countries would be very good if it is possible that Indian universities can establish branches in those countries. And for that they need to support from the government. Because if you leave it only to the universities, it will not be done. That is what I expect. So I hope that the Indian government sees possibilities in this. That is a good initiative. And I'm talking about this not only on behalf of Suriname, but on behalf of different Girmitia countries. And I know that there are a lot of young people who would like to go to India, but although there are possibilities, they cannot go all of them. So if there are branches of Indian universities, and in first instance, I am thinking on, for instance, distance education. Indira Gandhi National Open University is the first one I'm thinking about. So I would like to know what is your opinion about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Ministers, really it's a great privilege to see you digitally across a distance, but this is an occasion for us to get to know each other. I hope to welcome you here physically or come there myself one day soon. But let me come to the question. I think it's a very important point you made, which is really how can we connect with each other where the world of knowledge is concerned, world of education is concerned. And again, it makes sense to, if we are doing it, to start really with distance education, because as it is, it is online, it makes it easier for people to join up. My recollection is there's been some discussion in the past, in the last few years, actually specifically pertaining to IGNOU. So what I would urge is that perhaps we can pick up on that and see, certainly on our end, I will energize it, we can look at it, and we would be very open to find a way. I should add that actually we have embarked on a fairly ambitious distance learning project in Africa, but that is less university centric. This is much more structured in terms of what you are suggesting, but I would be very open to what you are suggesting. I would like to pick up on where matters stand and take them forward.
Thank you, sir. The second question is from Dr. Dev Sharman, Honorable Member of Parliament and Hindi poet, who had also attended the PVD panel discussion on role of Indian diaspora community organizations held in New Delhi in 2016.
नमस्ते इंडिया, नमस्ते डॉक्टर जयशंकर जी, आपके सालगिरह के उपलक्ष्य पर हार्दिक बधाई और आशीर्वाद प्रस्तुत है भारतवंशियों की ओर से. Coming to my question, dear sir, I'm very thankful for you of having the KIP program, the Know India program. But I think, as you mentioned, we are a big family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So I suppose there should be look upon the opportunity of giving young Indians the chance to visit the diaspora countries, not only to get them interested, but to strengthen the ties. We have a lot to offer them. And actually, we will support this Indian community, this idea. And actually, we are ready to welcome the first group. Thank you very much.
I'm very glad to hear you say that, because today, actually, this is the second or third good idea that I picked up If you were connected with the interactions with the other embassies, typically we send out cultural troops. We got a suggestion from Singapore to actually whether they could send in to India a troop. Now you reverse the direction. Typically we ask the young people from the diaspora countries, particularly the Girmitia societies, to come to India. You've now given me the reverse flow. I will look at it. I'll find a mechanism which will work. I think possibly to some degree the Indian Council of Cultural Relations is a possibility. But again, since you have sort of put the idea forward, let me reflect on it. I will take it very seriously. I would certainly like to see something like this happen.
Vicepresident van de Republiek Suriname, Dr.-ingenieur Michael Ashwin Adin, die vaker als voorbeeld wordt aangehaald vanwege zijn sterke band met India op vooral cultureel en educatiegebied, heeft vaker de Pravasi Bharatiya Divas toegesproken. Adin heeft vorig jaar in India een eredoctoraat ontvangen van de Lovely Professor University LPU voor zijn afstudeeronderzoek in Vedische wetenschappen. Als speciale gast van de Indiase ambassade haalde hij in zijn speech de warme banden met India aan. Adin is een groot voorbeeld voor vooral jongeren in de diaspora.
In the challenge of diaspora, we see that nations nowadays face the challenge of the process of nation building. And in this process of nation building, the biggest challenges are the migration, the movement of people that we see, be it forced migration or through movement because the accessibility through airspaces there, that you have movement of culture and movement of values going on in the world. What is there to say about nation building? How is that challenge, that process of nation building challenge? The other challenge is a challenge of technology, where it brings the process of bringing people together more in a life sphere. In that sense, we see the world crying out for more tolerance. Because of this migration of people, nations are having to cope with all kinds of cultures and values that come in countries, go out of countries. In that sense, Swami Vivekananda, this call of tolerance is there, and India has been a beacon of light for the whole world when it comes to tolerance. Because it believes in something that exceeds and is above different cultures and values, and that is the concept, a spiritual concept that is the old Sanskrit concept of dharma. It says in the old scriptures, Yato abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhi sadharma, which means that dharma not only gives spiritual welfare, but also economic, material welfare. And that is the reason why you have in India the different cultures, but still living side by side, being able to interact, because they have something spiritual, more of higher value than just cultures. In that sense, you can refer to the political analyst, political science professor Hendren, who says, if we have to cope with this ever-changing world, we call it the VUCA world, VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, we have to be able to change our way of governance. And in changing our way of governance, it is not an option to throw away words and institutions. Words and institutions, he says. The old words and the institutions should not be thrown away when it comes to governance. You should revamp, update these words that we use every day. Stripping away from old connotations, bringing in new ideas, new interpretations of the old words and the old systems that are there. In that sense, the old concept of dharma is there. The spiritual concept, a spiritual worldview that rises above cultural differences, that we can revamp and say, this is an old concept from India in this case, that we can reuse, a more spiritual way of looking at things to bind people together to get more tolerance. A second one, of course, is a concept that we know is the concept of Rashtra. The concept of Rashtra in its core meaning would mean circle of influence. That's what Rashtra means. In the old concept, it would mean people not bound by geographical boundaries. In the sense of diaspora, it is very applicable to the diaspora, the concept of Rashtra. Putting away old connotations, of course, bring it in a new light, this concept, these words, this institution of Dharma, these words and other words like Rashtra can be used again to bring back tolerance, the cry for tolerance in the world in which India has been a beacon of light for so many centuries. You see, Suriname is now in a third wave of migrations. The first wave was from the country of origin to Suriname. The second wave in Suriname was to the Netherlands mostly, of course, the US also a little. And now you see more Indians coming to Suriname and other people coming into Suriname from other countries nearby. So we are on a third wave of migration, and then the cry for this tolerance through migration, be it movement, is a movement of cultural values, and we have to see how we as diaspora, Suriname is a good example in that sense, that Surinamese diaspora from India, that we can get that export product of Dharma and Rashtra and see how we can apply it to our current living together, our current society. In that sense, I wish you a very nice and a good conference today. Sadar Supreme Namaskar. Dhanyavad.